The elder to the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not only I, but also all who know the truth, because of the truth which abides in us and will be with us forever. Grace, mercy, and peace will be with us from God the Father and from Jesus Christ the Father's Son, in truth and love. I rejoice greatly to find some of your children following the truth, just as we have been commanded by the Father. And now I beg you, lady, not as though I were writing you a new commandment, but the one we have had from the beginning, that we love one another. And this is love, that we follow his commandments. This is the commandment, as you have heard from the beginning, that you follow love. For many deceivers have gone into the world, men who will not acknowledge the coming of Jesus Christ in the flesh, such a one is the deceiver and the Antichrist. Look to yourselves, that you may not lose what you have worked for, but may win a full reward. Anyone who goes ahead and does not abide in the doctrine of Christ does not have God. He who abides in the doctrine has both the Father and the Son. If anyone comes to you and does not bring this doctrine, do not receive him into the house or give him any greeting, for he who greets him shares his wicked work. Though I have much to write to you, I would rather not use paper and ink, but I hope to come and see you and talk with you face to face so that our joy may be complete. The children of your elect sister greet you.
Okay, we made it to Friday, so if you're watching this, you have made it through the week. Congratulations. Well, you still got one more day of the week, but you're almost there. And so today in the daily lectionary cycle of readings, we have left the first epistle of St. John and are now in the second epistle of St. John. And it's a wonderful, wonderful letter. It's a love letter of sorts. St. John writes to a lady of good repute and honor and charity, and confesses his love for her, but not in a romantic way, but in a Christ-centered, charitable way. So it's a wonderful letter that has a lot going for it. The lady's name is Electa. And so St. John commends her for her love and her charity. It seems that she's the patroness of a church and of a house, and spends her days raising up younger ladies and being charitable and feeding the poor and the hungry and taking care of the homeless and the orphan and the widow, and has given herself completely to that task. So it's really, really amazing. Then St. John warns her not to let anyone who confesses false doctrine into the house, and not to greet them, to stay away from them. And so again, we're faced with this doctrine, and to the modern ear, it sounds weird. I guess, with America having 1,500 denominations, it's like, well, what does it really matter? So I'll start with one little piece. If you've ever sat with someone who has been completely, utterly, and totally devastated because they were taught that if they did X, if they prayed this way to Jesus, that Y would happen. So if I prayed this way, so-and-so wouldn't get sick, or I would be healed, or if I prayed this way, then I would be prosperous and be blessed. And that's a real thing, and people are just destroyed when Y doesn't happen, when so-and-so dies or is sick, or when their life falls apart and they feel like it's a failure on their part. But really, it's a failure on someone else who taught them incorrect things or told them lies about who Jesus is and what he's about. So, think about that. It gets worse. So it's extremely important in a relational sense to know who Jesus is, what Jesus is about, and have those expectations and understandings met so we can live fully into the love of Christ. So I won't go into a long theology lesson about that, but we don't want to get to know somebody and that not be who they are. I'll just leave it like that. So it's very important that we understand Christ correctly. And that we not get caught up in lies. A big one in that day was like Gnosticism, which said that there was certain knowledge that's given to certain people. Not everybody has it, and it's a very exclusive club, if you will, and looks at humanity in incorrect ways. Instead of saying that God created everyone out of love, it says that knowledge was only given to certain people, and therefore only certain people benefit from that. So there we go. So explore that, but enjoy that reading today. Rejoice in that reading, and rejoice in Electa and her work. And the cool thing about that is it's a personal letter, but it also, if you look at Electa, it could be church communities. So it's written not only on a personal note, but collectively, and fits just as well with church communities. So, and think about how well we know Christ and how truly we know Christ, and why that's important. So I hope you sort of start pondering those things, and I really hope you have a great weekend. So love you all. God bless you. Have a great, great weekend. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.